What is up, crew? All right, so I just posted on my Instagram stories. I'm like, yeah, I'm shutting it down for the night. And then I was just thinking, because I just got off a big live stream with our company. So it's called The Surge. So basically like all the exciting announcements and what's coming up and all that jazz. So I was listening in on that and I'm like, okay, this is on my heart. I got to share one more video. And it kind of got me like a little fired up because we've been traveling a lot lately. We were just in New Orleans for a week and I talked with a ton of, different people. You're surrounded by different people. And so often you overhear things with people talking about their bodies or just different things. And it makes me real pissed off, honestly. When I read statistics and it's like, this many people are obese or overweight, this many people are unhappy with their bodies, I see people making certain food choices, or I see people's relationships they're failing because they're not confident in their body. That right there is the make or break deal for me, because that's what happened for me. You can do whatever you want with your body. I don't care. But when it starts to affect your relationships with people, especially if you have a husband, a spouse, a fiance like me, maybe we'll get married one day. I don't know. Stop asking. That's when you need to be like, Morgan, it's time to change. Because that's what happened to me 5 years ago. I was away being a camp counselor at a Tim Hortons camp, and I left being in the best shape of my life, and I came home being in the worst. Steven dragged me to the gym because our relationship was going like this, and it was going like this fast. Hey, Tammy, why? We're the same people, right? We had a phenomenal relationship before I left, and now we're almost gonna break up. Like, what's going on? It was because I was so unhappy and uncomfortable with myself. My confidence was literally zero. You know what happens then? You don't want to be intimate. You're not happy to be around. You're negative Nancy. Who wants to be around you? Who wants to boom chicka wong with you? You don't even want to do that, right? Because you're so uncomfortable. How in the freaking world are you supposed to have a healthy relationship like that? Build a family like that? Plan to be married for 50 years like that? It's just not gonna work, right? And to be honest, it's kind of sad because majority of our population just accepts that and doesn't make it work, but just sucks it up and kind of coasts through life. I guarantee you ask 10 people if they're happy with themselves and their relationship and their life, you're going to get a surprisingly high percentage that is not. You're going to be like, whoa. Of course, you have the amazing relationships and people, and I love that. I look up to those people. I want to learn from those people. But majority of people are not like that. They are not comfortable in their body. They are not comfortable in their relationships, and therefore they lead an extremely unhappy freaking life. And they coast and they just accept it and they think this is how it should be, and it's not. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can change this, because it's exactly what I did and it's exactly what I teach people to do every single freaking day of my job. And yes, that's my job. I was a full-time teacher. Steve and I also own a franchise, and I also signed up to be a Beachbody Coach 4 years ago. Thankfully, not thankfully, I didn't even know it was possible because I didn't know what coaching was when I signed up. After a year of coaching, I was able to match my teaching income. And at the time, the best decision for me was to step back from teaching and be a full-time coach so I could also help Steven at our store, 4 years down the road, this is my full-time job. It's a lot of other people's full-time job, and it's pretty cool to see it being more on the radar that not just Beachbody coaching, online entrepreneurship in general. It's so cool to see how people are building careers online, and I love it because that's the way our world is going, if you haven't noticed. So, what do you do to get happy with yourself? This is my order of importance, okay? And it's not working out first. So, screw that. Put that mindset away. I'd rather you just not work out if you do these other things instead. Number 1, pick up a freaking book or download a freaking podcast. Okay? Here. So many people want to work from here down. They want to change their love handles, or they want to change their flabby arms, or they want to get rid of the hips. Nobody wants to change their brain or their mindset or finally understand why they feel this way. Because I can tell you, the day you get a 6-pack and the day you get to your goal weight and you haven't changed this, you're still gonna be unhappy. So, let me show you what I came home to after New Orleans. It was a package that was in the mail that I ordered it before I left New Orleans. This, okay? Plus the one that I started is out in my living room. This is what came from Amazon, what was waiting on my doorstep when I got home from New Orleans. Why? Because I know that this is the most important thing ever. And the only way I can change this is if I learn from other people. So I either do books or I do podcasts or whatever it may be, because your happiness is mental. When you change this, your body naturally changes. You want to take care of your body more. You want to make better food choices. You want to exercise because you understand what it does for you. You want to be better in your relationships. The book, I don't know if anybody's ever read it, the book, The 5 Love Languages, I read one month because I really wanted to work on a relationship. Changed my life. So many of these books, I've read them all. I feel like my bookshelf is like my favorite place. It's like my accomplishment. That is where it's at. And that's why when somebody comes to me and says, Morgs, all right, I'm ready for you to help me, I say, okay, what do you feel you need to work on? I give them book options. I give them podcast options, because when I help people, I don't want to help people and have them come back to me next month or a year down the road and be like, Morgan, I fell off the wagon. No, that's not how it works. Emily, my girl. Such a good book. Emily won the most incredible award over the weekend at Summit. Love you, girl. And I got to sit with her too, her and her husband. So her reaction to the award was just hilarious. So proud of you, girl. And I totally lost my train of thought. But, oh yes, because when people come to help me, I want them to be helped for good. I want them to get on this path and boom, that is their path for life. And the only way you do that is if you change the hardwiring of your brain. And a lot of us have to change a lot of wires. Some of us not so much. Some of us have a lot to change. And just like fitness, you don't just get to work out for a month and have a 6-pack till you're 80, right? Just like fitness, you don't get to read one book and think you're going to be happy for the rest of your life. I read at least, okay, don't judge me, I'm a slow reader. I didn't really read books until I became a Beachbody coach. I spark notes everything in university. I'm guilty, okay? Hated reading, hated it. I'd watch the movie if it existed. But now I at least read a book a month. I'm trying to up that because I have all the books I've been reading on successful people. They're reading like multiple books a month. So I'm trying to up that. And I also listen to podcasts every day. So at least one book a month. And it's never going to stop. That's my goal all the time. So once you get that set, you start to get this urge. You're like, okay, I want to start treating my body better. This is weird. I never wanted to like work out before, or I never really wanted to eat healthy before, or I never wanted to like learn about my partner and better our relationship before. Like, what is happening to me, right? It's because you're rewiring your brain. You change this, all of a sudden, you want to work out. You want to treat your body good. You want to make better food choices because you're educated on what it does to your body. You want to learn about your partner or your spouse or your kids and how you can better serve them and create a better atmosphere for them. And it's not about taking, because that's something you might feel right now. You might be like putting the blame on your family or your partner or your coworkers or whatever. Well, they're not doing this, they're not doing this, they're not doing this, and it's making me unhappy, when really nobody else should have an effect on that. If you focus on you and what you can change and how you can serve them, you're going to notice your viewpoint towards them is going to start to change, right? I read this book. Remind me if this sounds familiar to you. I think it was in The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, and he actually spoke in New Orleans at our event. I'm pretty sure it was that book. It might not be, but I love that book. It was the fact that, no, it wasn't that book now that I'm thinking. I'll figure out what it was. So these two guys were talking, and it was the author talking to his friend, and his friend was like, screw it, like, I cannot stand my wife, she's driving me crazy, blah, blah, blah. And I read this at the actual perfect time, because this was going on with me and Steven. This is how I felt. And he basically told his friend, okay, like, you know, great, like, what can you do to change this? He's like, no, she has to change. She has to change what she's doing, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you know what? Every morning, I want you to take out a piece of paper and I want you to write down 3 things that you love about her or that are grateful about her. He's like, oh, I can't do that. She's driving me crazy. That's how I felt about Steven too. But I read it in a book, and if it has helped somebody else, I'm willing to try. So that's what I did for a month. That's what this guy did for a month. He came back to his friend and was like, oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how much my wife has changed. I cannot tell you how much Steven has changed. Did they really change? They didn't change. What you focused on changed. What your viewpoint was changed. So that's the ripple effect. And if any of you have started to incorporate personal development, that's what this is called, personal development, into your life, could you just comment below and maybe just share a couple sentences about how it's impacted your life? Because I think some people think it's just fluffy jargon, but I'd love for other people to see how it truly has changed, not just my life, real people, other people's lives. So if you could just put a few sentences in the comments if you've implemented personal development in your life, I'd be forever grateful, and I will definitely respond to you tomorrow. But that to me is why so many freaking people are not happy with their bodies and not happy with their lives. Okay? We're all gonna end up in the same place, right? Death is our endpoint for everybody. So it's our job to make the most of this life and make the most of our experiences. And we cannot do that if we can't get out of our own freaking... I just had a 1-800 number calling me, but I'm back. So that's my message, and I hope you take this seriously. I hope you don't brush this off like you brush everything else off, because when July 2018 comes, I don't want you to be in the same freaking spot that you are today. One whole year going by that you wasted. Do you know how many people would kill to have that extra year? and you wasted it. So take this video seriously. If you want a suggestion for a book or podcast, comment below, tell me what you're struggling with, and I will give you some suggestions. Okay? You are not a victim. You are not the first person to be struggling with what you're struggling with. You are not that unique. I am sorry. Whatever problem you have, somebody else has had and has either wrote a book about it or has made a podcast about it or a YouTube video about it, and I will help you find it. You will watch it, you will learn, you will implement, and you will get over whatever you're going through, okay? So order of importance, are you ready? Personal development, nutrition. No, I take that back. It's tied. Personal development, support, accountability. My online groups are my life. Nutrition, working out. Yes, I put working out last, and it's like, it's my heart and soul. Love it, but it's last. Personal development, support, nutrition, working out. All right? Good. I cannot wait to read your comments tomorrow. If you know anybody that needs to hear this message, freaking share this. Share it, even if you don't know anybody. Just put it out there. Share it so we can get this message out to more and more people and make this world a happier place. All right? Love you guys. See you later.